All right, we'll call this meeting to order. Would you please stand for the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Tim Brennan, Claire Mann, Evan Brown, present, Joyce Burns, here, Sue Baker.
Okay. We'll move on to Mark and have him go over the budget with us, then we'll come back and approve the minutes and go on with the rest of the program.
Okay.
Okay, Mark.
I hope you'll forgive the small print.
Sorry, that's me.
No, actually, it's the program I put in. I think there's probably a way I can make it a little bigger, and I'll work on that before we meet with council. But what day do I have you slotted for?
The 24th at 7:30.
Okay. These are, of course, estimate numbers, educated estimates from year to year. Not a whole lot of change other than Jenny had indicated to me she didn't expect the federal grant money this year, so we pulled that out. Whereas we had about 4,500 this year.
I mean, we should get the E-rate check, so it might go in.
Okay.
So
Yeah, if you can't count on it, it's better off to just not budget for it and expect it.
it should be there, but yeah, okay.
But the actual, I just checked this morning, the current property tax might actually be a little bit higher than 438. It might be about 440. So we'll have a little bit of wiggle room there as well. We usually don't get the personal property tax numbers till sometime in May, solidified, and then we get that. If you go down to 271000573, that local community stabilization share, that's the library's portion of personal property taxes that the state took away basically by exempting small businesses for up to $40,000 in personal property. They're using the use tax fund to reimburse cities, and I'm pleased that they're actually reimbursing us 100%, because I was worried that they would say we'll reimburse you 100% and then do like they've done with CBT and give us less. But so far they've kept their word, and they've reimbursed us all the personal property that we lost due to the exemption. Good for businesses, and actually in the end okay for us because we maintain that revenue. So that 12.8 is about the same as I projected. You can see in 16-17 we got about 9,600, and then they bumped that up to about 12.8, and I expect to get about the same amount this year. Hopefully that'll bump up a little bit again. But the other revenues come straight from Jenny and her calculations. I know she dropped video rentals a little bit. You know, that seems to be a little bit of a shrinking market with Hulu and Voodoo and.
I was wondering if our overdue fees were going to drop too because of all the opportunities we have to renew online.
Yeah, so I lowered that down also, 5,000. So,
Yeah.
you know, it's good.
It's good.
But it's good. It's bad, but it's good. So, yeah. But you're right, the way we're getting in touch with everyone now. Exactly.
But based on this, the revenue will be 498. Like I said, there might be a couple thousand more in property tax revenue, so we might be just over $500,000 in revenue. And then on the expense side, I'm giving Jenny another bump, trying to get her where she should be. So she's getting a little bit more than everyone else, and then might anticipate one more next year, and then she'll be where she should be. So both her and Kathy Wienouts were being very patient, and we're bringing them up the ladder quicker.
Thank you for your patience.
Oh, I'm happy to do. Labor of love.
We can tell.
And we also bumped up part-time just because of the need for.
Right. I know the board, we talked about maybe giving more than a quarter, so we contracted in at 50 cents, and then trying to keep, well, if we can do it, and then keeping the monitor hours through the summer, helping helping with the transition of the new system, and then working on a lot of side projects and helping support the staff, administrative stuff.
It's good that she can be multitasking.
Yes.
Will she be able to come back this coming
Yeah,
September as a mom?
She is patiently waiting to see how everything goes. But yeah,
Okay.
she's game to keep on trucking with us if we're game. Otherwise, she understands how to go. But I would like to try to get the staff, as we talked about, more than a quarter, and try to keep
Have they ever
monitoring.
gotten more than a quarter?
Way
That's
back when,
definitely-
they
Yeah,
gotten a little bit.
maybe at one time or another, but again, it's trying to keep the competition for part-time employment and
Yeah.
wages going up. It makes sense to give them a little bit more, to let them know that they're vital and appreciated. Give them a little higher bump than what we have in years past.
You know, I usually try
Would be
to
good.
run it a little conservative, you know, not always maybe calling it a sub, but, so the 7 is hopefully, will cover it enough. But that was my goal, as we talked about, to try to give them a bump up.
Trying to think if there's anything else.
We
on
lowered
here.
the books down to 45 because of gifts that were coming in, and,
Do you think we can make up the difference through other means?
yeah, I think so. I've been running the book budget conservative anyway. I know book prices are going up, but we've been having, the public and everyone else has been very, very generous. Ebooks are going up a little bit in price, but nothing too overwhelming. We're gonna keep the building at 10.
Our good friend building maintenance.
Our good building maintenance, it's been okay. I know I didn't, yeah.
Geez.
Quick
Yeah, no
maintenance.
kidding.
We lowered a little bit, I mean, nothing happened, but I know I had that money there just based on what happened to the server room. We are running into a problem, the projection system got fried, burned out a little bit it did. Some of the equipment within it, the Blu-ray we lost, the Comcast box we lost. We're working with advanced lighting and sound to try to figure out how to repair everything, so we may be having some upcoming.
Was that due to the power outage? or
Yeah, it looks like it.
The power outages, yeah.
Is that
What about the
covered?
copy machine?
Yeah,
I know we
and our
talked about
insurance cover
updating
that?
it, but
If we
never
go
did,
beyond
so how
1,000, we
are
could
we
submit
gonna-
to insurance.
Um,
because we have a
I
1,000
put it in.
deductible.
Yeah, I put in the copy machine just to see, I'm waiting for one more quote to come back, and then I'll talk to you guys. They should have it to me within the next week or
Now, would
two.
that be in?
I put that under equipment maintenance.
Okay, so that's in our equipment maintenance balance.
It should be okay. The other thing is other professional services, we're switching, which is a major switch, system, circulation systems. They're still working on the formula right now. But they told me go 3 to 5% increase. I should know, I'm sorry, after the budget, what they've kind of ballparked for me, the increase shouldn't be too much, maybe a few $100s. And so we'll see how that goes. That's a little bit of an unknown. And the other thing is just, I would like to get the carpet cleaned. The emergency lights were running into a problem. I guess what was put in was maybe a little bit, the Cadillac of emergency lights, and we would have been fine with the Ford Escort, so they're starting to burn out, and so we need to start replacing them as they start to go. And DPW figured out a unit that would work just as well at a lower cost, so.
That's good.
Yeah, we need to start replacing those as they start going. Window cleaning, I'd like to do twice a year, get the chairs cleaned. So it's nothing too crazy. I mean, we've tried to lower and be respectful of what's being asked of us. It's just more focusing on the staff and trying again to get a copier. And the unknown of the projection system.
Now, is this the same budget you will be presenting to the city council?
Yes, yes.
So are these the numbers that
Pretty much,
you
yeah.
projected in the?
Yeah, and the other drop, the MERS DB, which
Oh.
is 714,100, that's in anticipation of getting the pension obligation bonds. The pension bond payments will actually be lower than what we were paying MERS because they were accelerating our payments. They were shrinking our amortization period. Just really, in other words, our liability for retirees was maintaining really, but they were upping our payment each year because they were taking a year away from the amortization schedule. But now with the bonds, we'll have payments over 15 years and we'll be fully funded. So, you know, that smaller number should maintain until they've got the payment schedule when we actually do it is weighted higher in the end as we increase in value. So that dropped from 60,430 to 50,115. So that's a $10,000 drop, which is nice.
Is there a certain number of years that the people have to put in before they're vested in a retirement package?
Yeah, it's 10-year vesting for DB, and we've been close to new hires for non-union personnel, which would be Jenny and Kristen, since 1999.
Okay.
So we've been close from the DB pension standpoint since '99. I missed the cutoff as well. So
I'm
with the
sorry.
DC. I tried really hard,
So,
but to get in. But once you're hired after '99, and then the police got on board in 2004.
so I'm vested after how many, like,
But you're vested on the DC plan in 7 years. So once you get 7 years, all the city's money that we put in for you is yours.
so I was hired full-time in 2012.
So you're not going anywhere.
Okay.
And then the DB was, I think right now there's 12 left with an anticipation on the DB plan that are active, with the anticipation within the next year, 2 for sure, and possibly as many as 4 of the 12 will retire. So it'll be interesting because what they call the normal cost, which is for the active employees, will come down a little bit, and none of that gets charged off to the library because Jenny and Kristen are both in the DC plan. So that's the 714,500 number.
So that goes away?
No, it doesn't go away. We messed that up. Jen, I'll have to fix that. There should be a figure in there. I skipped over that, so I'll have to fix that. I know that.
And I think probably for the federal grant, like I said, we do get an E-rate check. I know whenever we get it, we're always kind of like, which column it goes in. So again, that might have a figure in it.
And your surplus that I checked was how much, Jen, do you remember?
No, I'm sorry.
Fund balance surplus, it was over 100,000. It was 117,
It was,
I want to say.
it was all right.
And that's your money in case you run a budget shortfall, so.
So that will help the employees.
If you look at that far left column at the bottom,
That would be under 50 cents.
Yeah.
the far left column is the actual numbers from 16-17. You had a $35,000 surplus, which added to that. So you went from, I want to say 80-some to over 110.
I'm hoping my relationship with the building improves so that I can feel like I can.
And we budgeted this year a 15.6 deficit, which would tap into that. And again, we may end the year significantly lower. It will depend on where you come in on some of these line items. Jenny's been under the book budget each year.
Thanks, Jen.
Yep.
But obviously that DC going in will have an impact on the bottom line, so that's a big miss there. I'll have to adjust that. So you may end up with a deficit budget that you approve, but I'll look at the number and get back with you. So, and you don't have to approve this at this meeting. You can do it in May.
It's up to whatever you guys.
It's up to them. Yeah. But I'll get you an adjusted amount.
I do have a question. How do we handle it if, like, let's say the equipment maintenance or would be more usual, the building maintenance cost, for some reason there's a shortfall where we go over? How does that get handled?
It would come back, council does budget amendments each year, and I would encourage you to do the same. We can, generally what I try to do is if we have a line item that we're gonna come in under, I call them internal budget amendments. You take it from that line item and put it to the one you're gonna go over.
Okay.
So your bottom line's not impacted if you can use a line item. If your bottom line is impacted because you can't take it from somewhere else, we'll have a note on here. And in fact, when council gets it, and when I give you an updated amount, I'll have your fund balance at the bottom so that you can see what your reserve is.
Okay.
And then that way, if you go over, if you expend more than you take in, you can tap into your fund balance amount, which, like I say, right now is over 117,000. So, and then when you get to the end of this year, I'll also send, did I send March? No, I sent February.
Yep, which is
February.
what I have for you guys to pass out
Okay.
today.
And you can look at February and see where we're at. And then
Okay.
that gives the SNA gives a percentage about where you should be, but you do spend a lot of your expenses equally through the year. A lot of the other departments don't. Some of these, like if you look at workers' comp, we pay that all up front in a lump sum. That's why it's already at, $550 is what we budgeted and $550 is what we spent. And this budget is actually as of December 31st. So you can kind of see halfway through the year if you doubled that, we would be at 480 and we budgeted 510. So we're pretty close. And again, if there's years where we come in under what we budgeted. If you look at 16, 17, the expenses were $450. So. And that does come from Jenny's prudent spending, so. And then we, again, our top line wages is Jenny, Kristen, and the part-time is everything else. And you can kind of see going back, probably not by design, but it was 90,000 in 16, 17 actual, and then we budgeted 100 this year. And if you double the 46, we're at 90, roughly 92. So we're going to be a lot closer to that 100 this year. And it's because you've tried your best to staff your library.
Yes, definitely. Had some gaps this year.
Now, we have no preparation for vacation and sick time buyouts?
No, we
So
we don't anticipate it until, I look at it each year, and I don't know balance-wise where you're at with sick time, but I look each year. And if I need to put some money in there, I will.
Because some of us don't take vacations.
So,
Ever.
Kristen maybe a little bit, but
Because we need to make sure that they get paid for vacations they didn't
Right.
take.
And they are
live and
entitled
love.
to that.
Man, let's stop bringing that up.
It was teasing. He was teasing.
Blaming it on you.
Oh, man. Okay.
Always on holiday.
I like the idea of the increase for the salary, for the part-time people.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate your support on that. Thank you.
Yeah, so would you be able to tell them to take that money from the surplus? If they argue about giving you the money for your staff? How does that work?
No,
Yeah,
yeah, if
you
they start
can-
pushing back.
I mean, I would, if it comes down to it, I would ask the city attorney for his opinion, but you're a PA 164 library, so this board makes the decisions on the budget. So if you run into a dispute with council, which hopefully you won't, they've been pretty good at supporting what you support. But if you run into a dispute, I think your decision trumps theirs. Because you're a Public Act 164 library, and it clearly says that this board makes the decisions on the budget. It's the only other board that can make decisions, I guess, above council would be the DDA, because they have their own
Right.
money to budget and expend. But again, it works best when we're all in harmony.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
So I don't
Absolutely.
anticipate there to be any issues, but it is a new council, so they may have different questions and different ideas. But if you expend and you want to use reserve, that's up to this board to decide. They can't tell you you can't spend your reserve.
Right.
They might recommend that you not, but at the same time, if you go beyond something, and it's usually something beyond your control, the line items that we anticipate each year that we can estimate closely are not a problem. It's the building maintenances and things like that, something breaks, you have to fix it, so sometimes you blow up that number, and if you do that and you don't have a line item you can take it from for the year, that's when we tap into that reserve. And it's in really good shape. I mean, $100,000 reserve that's 20% of your annual expenditure, so that's a good number. It's more than that. And the general fund for the city's reserve is around 25 or 6%. So if you can keep it 20 and above, that's ideal.
Okay.
But I do apologize for missing. That's a 15,000. That's probably more than that. So you'll end up with a budget deficit. But I am going to update the revenue number as well because, like I said, I just got information this morning from our millage rollback, which will be, I think it's 0.9796. So we have to roll back our millage, which will impact it. But I think the number that I looked at this morning is that 438 will be higher. So we will have some revenue to offset the, I'll look, it might be 16 or 17,000 in the DC, which, like I said, I don't know how I missed that, but that's why we do this, is to make sure we don't miss those in the final numbers.
And you'll chat during the workshop if there's anything.
Yeah.
Any
If I need to speak up, I will. And like I said, I don't, this is going to be a very active and involved council, I know that.
Yeah.
Yep. So they may have a lot of questions, but again, I think the cooperation between the two boards is going to work out. I don't see any reason why it wouldn't. There's no pressing capital needs.
No, I'm
So,
not asking.
Not
for-
we know of.
Yeah, no.
yeah, that discussion, that discussion again remains amongst this board, so if you need something coming up, that's your decision to make, and if you have your committee, so.
Right.
Now, will we get a copy of the new
Yes, I'll give you,
budget before?
I'll send Jenny an updated to give to you, and then, like I said, I would recommend, by charter, council has to adopt the city's budget by second meeting in May, which I think is the 15th.
Somewhere around
So if
there.
your May meeting is before that, and you
It
want to approve the official budget for the library, feel free. And that'll give them, the budget workshops are before that time, so if they have comments or questions, and then, as I said, you may agree with them, you may not, and in the end, this is the board's recommendation for a budget. And that's what we'll ask council to approve.
Right. All right, I think,
Okay. That's
do we
great.
want to wait for his revisions and then we will vote on it at the May meeting?
Very good. Okay, sounds good.
All right, yeah.
I'll walk you.
I'll make those notes, I appreciate it.
Thank you, Laura.
Thank you.
Will be at the budget hearing.
Okay.
Yep. Yep, I think it's always good to have moral support of the board.
I appreciate it.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Now,
Yeah, Jenny.
are we allowed to catcall or?
Yeah, that will be on video as well, so.
Turn the camera off when they leave the room.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
Thanks,
Thanks
Mark.
for coming.
All right, thank you for having me.
Thank God he loves our library. Yeah.
It's helpful. Well, in fact, I think we get a tremendous amount of support from the staffing and the city council. You know, we really haven't butted heads.
In the community, really. Did anybody catch the information on public libraries last night on every news channel?
No.
A lot. It was on Channel 4.
Or, oh yeah, the libraries and.
Yeah, but there's a lot of worry about libraries and being a public facility. There's a lot more going on. Shouldn't be jinxing our quiet little community, but police are called a lot of times, which surprised me.
Channel 4?
For a lot of different reasons.
It's online, I watched it.
Okay. We need to approve the minutes from the March 13th meeting. Are there any corrections
I
to those
think there was
minutes?
a correction. I think at some point, my name was mentioned when it was Claire.
Oh, on a motion?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you don't want to take credit for that,
Credit.
for what?
Wait a minute. I don't remember any such thing.
I'm looking down the list. We have a question by Mr. Brennan. Okay.
Oh, boy. Always a fly in the
Appointment.
No, I'm looking at it.
I did see that.
Motion by Mr. Tim Brennan. I'm looking for Tim Brennan. No.
Okay.
Oh, question by Mr. Brennan for reimbursement for gas mileage to delivering books to homebound patrons,
That was-
which actually by Claire.
Oh, okay.
Claire asked a question
Oh, right.
on gas mileage. You remember you asked her about
I'm
that.
afraid the record will show that we're inquisitive or...
Okay. There was a correction to the minutes. Are there any others?
I move we accept the minutes as corrected for last month's meeting.
And I'd happily second that.
Okay, it has been moved and seconded that we accept the minutes as corrected. All those in favor?
I
Opposed? Okay, motion carried.
Good morning.
Okay, Jenny.
Happy National Library Week. Make sure you get your complimentary
Is that why we got that?
bookmark. Yes, well, actually, and that and National Volunteer Week is
Volunteer
coming
Week,
up.
yeah.
So
Oh, so it's a twofer.
it is a twofer, because, you know, I run a conservative budget, so it's a twofer. It's a twofer, so anyway, happy. Okay, dates of note. Wednesday afternoon book club will be meeting next week on the 18th. We'll be reading I Will Send Rain, and Ray Meadows will be Skyping with us to talk about the book, so that should be exciting. SCORE continues to meet every Wednesday for the months of April and May. Just a reminder, the Friends meeting will be on May 7th at 6:30. Social media marketing workshop continues on every Thursday from 2:30 to 2 o'clock. The writers group, I'm hoping that they'll be on May 10th, but we'll see. For upcoming programs, we have UFOs over Michigan, and that will be on Monday, April 30th at 6:30. And getting quite a sign up for that. Pause to Read will be meeting tomorrow at 4:30. Preschools, story time, the spring session will be starting on April 24th, and Parent and Top Time spring session will be starting on April 26th. The book sale will start next week. We have preview night. If you're a friend or would like to become a friend, that will be this Friday, the 13th, from 6:30 to 7:30. Otherwise, the book sale will run from the 14th to the 21st.
When are you doing a setup?
This Thursday around 11.
There's the alert.
I do. We're a little lean, so yes, I will take any help. I appreciate it.
Are you a little lean with volunteers to set up?
We're okay set up. We're
What's
okay.
going on? Oh, you're not in town? No, we leave in the morning. Then that's so careful.
That's okay. We have,
Well done.
life goes on. We have some people that have stuff going on. It's fine. It's fine. And then we have a sign up sheet up front if anyone is interested, or there's a link online too.
I should probably come afternoon, but I got a doctor's
No,
appointment
no,
at
don't
11.
worry about it. That's okay.
I'll be there the Saturdays,
Yeah.
but with my new employer, I don't think I know I cannot be here at 3 o'clock every day.
It's okay, but it's okay.
During the
We
day.
should get back, we should be back by the 17th.
But
So
don't,
that-
just see.
We'll double up because the funeral's Saturday and we'll leave the day after.
See how it goes. Watch the weather.
So we can help.
Okay.
Even though Joel didn't sign up, it depends on how the trip
Sure,
goes.
of course,
Yeah.
of course.
Weather.
Yeah, this is our second time.
Now, is Joel a volunteer, or do you badger him into signing up?
He's always just been
He
here.
acts very positive as if it's his own idea when he comes to help, unlike some people
He's a good guy.
who are drag.
Just check.
You didn't even like it.
So I'm going to keep going. On Saturday, April 21st, we have Music Lady Family Concert, which will be out in the library, so you can come and sing along and dance, and that should be fun. We have Popcorn and Pages Book Club for the kids, and we'll be reading Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and then watching the movie. That will be on Saturday, May 5th at 10. And then Representative Howerlack will be having office hours on April 30th. That's what's going on with that. For attendance, thank you. 53 for the month of March attended preschool story times, 201 for time
Wow.
sessions. Yes.
Wow, and you divide that by 8. So,
Yes. Little Willem's Pigeon Party, 38. Pause to Read, 6. Family Fortnight was 60, and preschool field trips, we had 45. For a total of 403 children attended our programs for the month of March.
Wow.
yeah, that Roe Williams, that was popular.
Yeah, it's very
I think
funny.
it's good if it works.
That's okay. Here
How-
are the
How is the percentage non-Clawson for these children's participation?
maybe about 25%.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
A lot
good,
of
though.
Royal
I-
Oak,
I
Rochester,
consider that
Berkeley,
a good thing.
Huntington Woods, Troy. It's a nice mix, nice. All are welcome always. So there at the fortnight, there was a lot of families I didn't. Thank you. New families, which was nice to
I see we have a thing on the budget for office supplies.
Yeah, I know. I had to outline where we're spending my office.
I think we ought to take a collection for office
Supplies.
supplies.
Yeah, and it's
I think so.
a lot of envelopes too.
Why don't you just give me a list?
I'll
Give me a
take-
list of your supplies.
I
that
will,
you need.
I need envelopes.
Regular business envelopes?
Yeah, but they could be your used ones. Sorry, when you get your invoices or bills and you don't
And I don't
use
use
the
the return
envelope.
one?
Yeah, I use it for the friends and also when we take money across the street. I'm trying to use more of the used envelopes than buying new
Okay.
ones to take. So, yes, we'd like to start an envelope drive. I would totally take that.
Do you use just the business or do you use the smaller ones too?
Usually business size, because I've got some money.
I think they're like 30 for $1 at the Dollar Tree.
Yeah.
And
So-
I think if they're not the peel away, I think they're 50 for $1. We could really spring for, and with the paper clips.
And pencils, and pens,
Yeah.
and, I mean.
We're using scratch paper, we're cutting paper, and we turn the ink pads upside down at night so the ink draws down, so we have enough.
Oh, now that is getting a little.
No,
No.
seriously, we do.
I know,
We totally
but would it
do. So
be-
if anyone questions.
No, would it be like out of line for our library fund to cover $25 in supplies?
Oh, I mean, we have it, it's
I
built
think
in.
that would be
We're
a
o-
gift to Jenny.
But they
We're
just,
okay.
they
We're
use
just-
it till the end. They're very
We're just
frugal.
running it very conservative. We like
Good.
reuse
No
other
wonder we
sides of
have a- No
paper.
wonder we have a budget.
Yeah.
We cut paper in half.
You
Yes.
didn't ask for a penny at the meeting last week.
No, because I had asked for it the previous meeting. We asked for a substantial amount to pay for programs for the
It
next
doesn't
3 or 4
matter, our
months.
balance was like over $5,000.
Well, I know,
That's why we're asking, what do you need?
right, I know.
Jenny, you're too conservative when it comes to,
No.
We've got the money,
This will be a
um,
discussion.
and that's what the whole point is.
Right, and I appreciate
You should
that.
not have to scrap.
No, I'm just saying.
Turning the ink pads.
They dry out really
That is
fast.
a very good idea, though.
So we
would
turn them
never have
upside
thought
down to
that.
draw the ink down at night.
Don't you shake your cartridges to get more
Nobody
toner out of
gets
them?
out on the
That's
surface.
Oh, I
They
shake my,
close, it's like
I
a
get a lot
little
more papers out of it.
book thing, and then we turn it upside
On the
down.
printer?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, I know, the friends are there, they pay for a lot, I'll be asking for stuff because they're having me put my budget together. So once you see that,
I commend you for your Yankee frugality.
I was thinking something else, but I'm not.
Oh, I'm sure you
I
were, Kim.
well, if I told you I had my babysitting money still from high school, I don't think you would. All right, we'll continue on.
Yes.
This has been fun. 8 total attended the SCORE workshops for the month of March. 12 attended the Wednesday afternoon book club that met on March 21st. 19 attended the social media marketing workshops for the month of March.
That's increasing. isn't it?
Yes, it is, yeah. 0 unfortunately attended the writer's workshop. 33 attended my winter accordion concert on March 19th, and 9 attended the mini scrapbook album workshop on March 17th. So it was good.
I saw one of those, it was cute.
Yeah, not
It
too
was
bad.
really cute.
Yeah, thank you. Publicity and community outreach. Our April showcase is Depression Glass from the Great Lakes Depression Glass Collectors Club. Also next to the showcase in the taxes, I don't know if everyone's seen from the Clawson Middle School Students Against Destructive Decisions group, came and presented us with a large thank you kindness poster, and they all signed it, so that was very kind of them. Edges and Ledges will meet on April 19th for dusting, and that's with the Junior NHS Junior Optimist Clubs. And also out on display, we have the Parks and Recreation who donated money for our Arbor Day, and so we have the money that they donated to us for the tree books that we purchased. So, and also there was an interview in the Royal Oak Review about the display. So the Friends Spring newsletter is available. I don't know if everyone saw
No, thanks.
Take two then.
that I attended the council meeting and National Library Week was proclaimed. And during the Friends sale and during the month of May, the Friends are going to post up on the wall the Friends of the Library Tree of Knowledge, which is going to be a tree decal that they're going to post up, and you can purchase a flower for $1 and write your name on it or some other kind message, and you can adhere it to the tree. So that is what's going on, and they'll be doing that also, I think, during Flower Day at the Friends of the Library. At the farmer's market.
Darling idea.
I do too, I think it's cute.
It's going right next to the copy machine, that'll be sweet.
Thank you, we have 2 trees to choose from, so they'll be working on that during the previous night.
Where are you putting the other one?
I'm not sure.
Now
Work in
that I heard
progress.
that they make stickers
Right.
that will adhere to the wall.
I have access to that, it's called vinyl.
The board had asked me a number of questions to,
Behave, we have work to do.
I'm almost done. So director's updates. Answers to the questions, the many questions that were asked of me, Mr. Brennan, at the March meeting. The gift committee will, like I said, be meeting on Wednesday, July 25th, 11 a.m. to 12.
July?
Summer, that's because school schedules and
Oh, okay.
vacation, but everyone will be in attendance, same committee.
Wednesday, the 25th?
I was asked about checking the building at hours outside of operating times. I talked to the chief of police and I was told I can call dispatch and they would send an officer over to escort me into the building.
Would you do that?
Yeah, I totally do that. We'll skip that one point because that was a surprise. And then I talked to the city engineer and the head of DPW regarding the power outages, and I was told they were upgrading the system and the weather were the issues why we had three big power outages so close together. Kristen and I talked about regarding reporting millage for outreach services, and for now we won't be requesting reimbursement. It's
For
not-
mileage?
Right, it's not that big of a deal. So, but thank you. Madeline and Sue, you had asked about smartphone classes. I'm talking to a person, he's a little concerned because there are so many smartphones out there and versions and types. So he's looking into it, but he also is willing to teach how to use various library technology resources. So he's trying to put together a
Oh, that'd
series
be a
of
great
something.
idea.
So,
That'd be a good book.
so he's going to get in touch. We're looking at doing that in the fall. So those were the check marks are the questions that were asked of me. So those are my answers.
Just keep it quiet.
So training dates, again, have been established for the new system, circulation, online public catalog, serials, which are magazines, and technical services, which is how we put the materials into the system, have been assigned to 4 different staff members, and everyone will be going. They've given us, TLN has given us so many spreadsheets of records of things we need to have updated, and we are almost done, so I'm happy to say. Again, reminder mail requests have stopped. They're hoping that it will come back in July, and we are reminding patrons. And also trying to remind patrons that if your PIN has any letters in it, it's going to transfer over to the new system as the last 4 digits of your phone number. So if you run into any problems, let us know. And I had a long discussion with the director at the Royal Oak Public Library. I think everyone hopefully is aware of all the construction that's about to take place around the City Hall, the police station, farmers market. That's going to go on for about 2 years. Parking is going to be a major, major issue. It will be beautiful when it's done, but it's going to be a major issue for them. So we are preparing to take on a lot of their patrons. And so she said if we need assistance, they're willing to send staff our way to help.
Great. What do they do regarding the staff? I mean, do they let,
Well, depending on what their numbers are, patrons can still get in. Of course, they'll take
right,
care of their patrons first. But if they find, maybe there's a shift and us and it looks like Berkeley will probably be taking a lot of the Royal patrons, and they're willing to send assistance. So.
okay.
That's to do with parking.
Correct, right, yeah, they're gonna lose a lot of spaces during this construction while they're putting up the parking deck next to the library and closing off, shutting down lots in order to build
And the
buildings.
busiest time of the year for the farmers market too.
Right, exactly. So I've had people asking about the Clawson Farmers Market too, they're interested in how that works. So they may see an uptick on that of Royal people coming over there, because I think they're gonna have to be Royal Farmers Market, you might have to be shoveled in on buses maybe
Yes.
to get to it.
Oh, yes.
So,
That's gonna
um,
affect the farmers.
yeah.
And they don't come on Sunday, the farmers only come on, well,
Friday or
during the
Saturday
summer,
usually.
Friday and Saturday, but, yeah, that's gonna affect them, unfortunately. We were down there Easter weekend, and you could already tell. I was trying to, I didn't know they didn't open till 10 on Saturday. They had the blue lights for autism.
Oh, right.
And it's already a traffic mess.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting times, but So we figured between having the new system come in and trying to get up to speed with that and maybe taking on a couple of new patrons, which are, you know, they're welcome. They're very welcome. The Will helps us out a lot too. We might have a busy summer, and then summer reading program going on also, so
Thanks, I think I'll have one
it's
more.
going to be an active summer. Patron issues,
You're
suggestions,
thinking for myself,
and
I
incidents.
appreciate it.
The after-school program at the church has stopped, and they hope to be back in the fall.
They just didn't get the response.
No, on the last day that they were gonna stop, they had 9 kids, but, yeah, they're gonna stop.
9, that was a
That
start.
was a lot.
Yeah, but they've decided to stop for now and reevaluate it, and they hope to come back in the
Sad for
fall.
those 9, but,
So,
yeah,
and we've received 2 very kind donations for a large print in memory of 2 patrons, so to the tune of $700 so.
Oh, that's
It was
good.
very nice. Sad that we received it, but kind that they thought of us. Yes. Staff updates. The federal jury duty is over for one of my clerks, but another clerk is up possibly this week for
Oh,
more jury duty.
no.
Yeah, she
Should be
calls.
kidding.
Federal or?
It's Troy. So,
No.
yeah.
No.
So,
District.
yeah, district. So she'll call
That'll be a
Thursday.
one-dayer.
yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, we've had at least 5 clerks up for jury duty the last few, yeah, at least, I know.
Good citizens.
So,
Hey, it's what we all want if we're needing a jury, right?
yeah. Debbie Ziegler will be coming back to staff. She's going to be covering another employee who has adjusted her hours, so we had some opening in the hours. So Debbie will be
Great.
working every other Saturday for 6 hours. Kristen will be attending the Clawson Youth Assistance Youth Recognition Ceremony on May 2nd, representing. She's nice. Building issues.
No.
On March 21st, 22nd, 27th, April 3rd, Miller Bolt came out to address heating and cooling issues in the meeting room. They also had a meeting with Mr. Drinkwine. The meeting room has a mind of its own, and sometimes it gets too cold, and I can't get it to warm up, or it gets too hot, and I can't get it to cool down. So they're trying to figure out if maybe rerouting vents maybe and have the air blow a different way. The issue is that we have obviously a big window there as a wall. They wondered if maybe baseboard heat might have been a better decision. I don't know. They're still researching it, but they're just trying to figure out how to get the air to flow differently. I'm concerned because during book sale week, it is an ongoing challenge of trying to keep that room comfortable. I know cool is good, but sometimes it gets a little too cool and uncomfortable. So they're working on that. The filters on the roof have been changed and in the server room, but while up there looking at the filters, there's a coil or something that's leaking oil, so they need to address why we've got an issue. And also we're shifting on to other things. So, but that's what's happening. So I'm just waiting for quotes, and they're still trying to adjust the flap that's making a clanking noise in the boiler. And as I said, advanced lighting and sound have come out, and they're going to be out again this Thursday to try to figure out the projection system. We had to buy a new Blu-ray player. Comcast was out trying to replace the box also to see if we can get everything hooked back up.
Is there no surge protector for?
Yeah,
that?
there is. I don't know what happened. I mean, it starts surging strong enough, I guess. I'm not sure what happened, Alan. So they're out there trying to address that
So
one.
if all that reaches over 1,000, then we claim it on insurance.
I guess Comcast switched out the box for no cost, so that was
Okay.
good. The Blu-ray player came in at $70.
Okay.
I'm still waiting for the bill for advanced lighting and sound, and then it's just trying to figure out what else is coming in. Able Pest Control came in for a routine check, so it's looking okay.
Did they find any pests besides
Just the
Tim?
usual typical spring ants.
What about the stink bugs? There was a big thing on the TV last night about we're gonna be inundated for some strange
And they
reason.
said put them in soapy water, don't crush them.
Oh,
Well, they want well, because that's what makes them stink. But,
Yeah.
So you pick
I
that up?
never even
And put them in
noticed that
soapy
they
water.
Oh, good Lord.
were here until last year, maybe.
So we've been having some problems with the magazine shelving, so DPW came out and repaired it. You know, just over time, it gets lifted up X number of times a day, so they're working on that. And hey, I had another surprise inspection from the state of Michigan on the furnace, and we passed.
On the furnace?
Yeah, the boiler. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was surprised that I didn't know if this is an every year thing. I asked, it was the same gentleman. So, you know, we exchanged stories about family and how things were going over the last 12 months. And yeah, I guess this is just a random thing and we've gotten it 2 years in a row.
It's because, because we're a public building?
Yeah, they just
Do
pop
go
in.
around the-
Yeah, yep. And so we've got the approval of the stickers on the boiler furnace. So in the PNC account, we have $3,080.32, and the RB digital for the prorated amount for March and April has been paid for $280.90. And I have the current ledger for everyone. Well, as current as they have, I should say. This is again for the end of February. I might go over a little bit on part-time. I got a lot of call-ins and trying to get subs in. So I'm trying not to that much. We might just need the less one for 40. So that's what's shaking.
So we will be voting on the amended budget on next month's meeting.
Yes,
Okay.
because he's going to put the new figures
Yeah,
that he
they make a
forgot.
big difference. Yeah. Sounded like it
In
made a
it.
difference.
And
You will give them to Kenny, who will
Correct.
present it to us, and then we'll vote on it.
And there's the budget hearing is the 24th at 7:30 at City Hall.
I was
So we
warming
should-
up my cat calls.
We should be there. So does it, at the budget meeting, will we like talk about the reasons?
Yeah.
And say, you know, we want to add money to this salary line for the part-time employees? Is that how they usually do it, or?
I mean, they'll see that there's been an adjustment, so I'm sure.
So you will have already made the adjustment in the proposed budget? Perfect.
And like
Thank
Mark
you.
said, even if they don't agree, it's up to us.
It's up to us.
Yeah, but
And we
let's-
agree,
Yeah, I
so-
know,
right.
let's see how the agreement goes. I don't think we'll come to that.
I don't, like you said.
That's the biggest thing I'm asking for,
We're
is
council.
to support the employees.
Yeah,
And they do such a great job.
And you need the employees to run the library.
I mean, I know I've got a couple that are already looking, so,
Well, it's not that,
which is fine.
it's not that anybody is overpaid, so I think they should get 50 cents.
Thank you.
I don't
No
think.
question, no question. It'd be lovely to even do more, but.
Yeah, it would, but at least that, and at least.
Shows goodwill
Well,
and
it
appreciation.
shows you that you're looking out for them and making an effort.
Well, they take good care of the library.
We really do.
Yeah.
Your support staff is great.
Thank you. Yeah, I agree. So that's the ledger report. There's no unfinished business. The only other.
Window cleaning.
Yes, the only other is new business. The gentleman who does the windows late summer has requested to come back now to try to at least do the outside to get some of that salt off for $100, just to do the outside windows and maybe the inside.
This
has
is
to
the
be
same
Mhm.
fellow we had last year.
So in addition to the summer one, which we're requesting $190 for the summer inside and out cleaning, it will be an additional $100 just to clean up the outside windows so we can see. It's pretty heavy salt.
I think that's a wonderful
that a
idea,
motion?
so that it
So-
shines within our community. So I'd make a motion that we approve the expenditure of whatever Jenny
Outside
just said.
$100 just to do the outside windows. Thank you. And to clean up the
Very
vestibule.
reasonable.
So, yep, that was his idea. He said, just so he can stay on top of it. If you look out on the side, it's pretty salty.
Well, the difference after they did it last time was really dramatic.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
As
So-
long as they don't rush to do it, seeing
Do-
there's still
do we do-
snow on the ground.
Right, no,
Yeah.
exactly.
Do we need to vote on that?
We
Yes.
do.
Okay.
Has it been seconded?
Yes.
Yes.
It is removed and seconded that we authorize Jimmy to have the outside windows cleaned of the winter crud for $100. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is is carried,
Great, thank you very much.
but not on a snowy day.
No, snowy day. Any public comments or anything?
June, wait a minute.
So,
It was pretty nice, I thought. If you looked out about 10 o'clock.
Yeah, it was
Really,
pretty.
really pretty.
so that's all I have.
If you say so.
Any other thoughts, feelings, or emotions?
How are things going with the after-school situation?
Pretty steady. They're doing all right. The weather's helped a little bit. There's been a lot of activity in the gazebo.
Right.
But, okay, they definitely are learning the rules. I think having to unfortunately ban 2 of the students kind of got the word out that we're
Good.
not necessarily.
That's a rough thing to do, but
I
it
know, it's
has to
awful.
be done.
It has to be done. It has to be done. So far, it's still a pretty active crowd here and there. But, and spring sports are starting, like I said, the weather.
Yeah, that should take part of the crowd, hopefully.
Yeah, so, okay.
Well, thanks, Jen. You're doing a great job with the library.
Thank you
It's
for your
really
support.
nice, and it's really nice to walk into as a patron.
Stay strong, Tim. Thank you. I appreciate that.
I would like to move what we adjourn the meeting.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded, we adjourn this meeting. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?